Welcome and Merry Christmas to everyone. So I have bought myself a little project amp. I've been on the lookout on eBay, Marketplace, Reverb for just a project amp just to get stuck into and to do a nice restoration on. And I've had a lot of Bassmans through the workshop over the past couple of months, and do you know what? They are really fun for playing bass through. So when I saw this thing come up, which is arguably the least desirable and the worst sounding of all the Bassmen, I thought, do you know what? I'm going to see if I can get it. Now, it was for sale, and it was up for what I would say would be a reasonable price. It wasn't expensive and it wasn't cheap, but it was reasonable for the condition that the photos showed it to be. But I made a really, really low ball offer to the seller. There's no way he was going to accept it, but do you know what? He did, which says to me that actually he wanted to get rid of this thing quite quickly, and there's probably more wrong with it than he let on. But, if there's anyone to fix it, it's me. And so this is my Fender Bassman. So, should we have a look around it? I don't know what year this is. Late 70s, I suspect. It is a master volume model. It is ultra linear. Now, they're rated at 135 watts. Well, that's what they said, but most people can only get 100 watts clean out of them, which is, fine. It's not an issue. So obviously we can see the faceplate is in pretty poor condition all the way along, and we're missing a genuine Fender knob here as well. So, but this is what I wanted. I wanted an amp that was destined for the bin, and I could do something cool with it. The handle is missing, but it's got the original hardware, so we can do a new handle on it. It has been recovered at some point in its life. This is not the original Tolex, and in some places you can see they've done a very poor job. Right? Not great. Not great at all. And as you saw from the opening section, it's missing a whole section of Tolex on the underside. So I'm going to get this whole thing recovered. Obviously, the grill cloth is gone, and they fitted this metal grill thing, whatever it is. That's going to go. We'll get some proper grill cloth on it. It's got these side vents, which are factory, although this one's cracked, so we'll have to see if we can do anything about that. The other side appears to be in better condition, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. I wanted a project. If we go around the back, actually I'll just spin it around because it is quite heavy. It's still got the original rear panel, which is now very flimsy, but it has got the original Tolex. So, and if you compare the two, you can see there is a vast difference. Still got corner protectors, although that one, I don't think that's original at all. Hasn't got the chassis straps or the mounting bolts. So again, we're going to have to get some of those. Here you go. Here's a close-up of that poor Tolex job. Serial number A895167. Let's get this rear panel off. Is there anything else we can see? Oh yes, this was in the photos. It's got a blown output valve, but not a problem. There were no pictures of the inside of this amplifier, so I have no idea what we're going to find inside. But you're going to come along this journey with me. So let me get this panel off. Let me get the chassis out, and we shall continue our inspection. Does not look good, but it is the original one. Okay. It is an export model, as you can see. It's got the red voltage selector on the back. But what do we have in here? Good, a UK plug. Definitely used, definitely not safe. We'll be fixing that. This is probably the worst cabinet I've ever seen. This thing is horrendous. It's all just falling apart. Valve chart. Serial number. It's going to take a lot of work, this thing. But I think we'll manage it. I might have to get this baffle remade, considering the state of it, but we probably do it without the slots. Might be easier. But this thing... Right, let me show you the chassis. I tell you what, this is the worst one I've ever seen. There's probably some diseases on this transformer, but we can zoom you in. Come on, behave. "16th week of 78. The output transformer is too rusty to see the date code just yet, but we will get to it. It looks as you would expect it to do. This one is rough. Only the 3 preamp valves on this amp for the 2 channels and the phase inverter. Should we look under the doghouse? Should we do that first? It can't be any worse, can it? Right, what are we going for then? Original caps? Replacements? What do you think? 3, 2, 1. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. What is going on there? What is going on there? Why are those wires taped up, not doing anything? What's going on there? This thing just wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. Phase inverter is a Harmer 7025 V2. Oh, it's an old 87. And V1 is also a Harmer. So far, all I've won is an old valve. Right, okay. All the sockets seem original. We've got to do it, haven't we? We've got to flip it. Let's spin it over. You're going to see this before I do. Oh, it stinks. Oh. Let me show you this. Have you ever seen an amp as bad as this? This is just horrendous. I think a mouse or something's been living in here because it stinks of piss. Covered in mould. All the gross bits. It's got a burnt screen resistor there. You see it? Get you a better angle on it. There you go. What is going on? It's just a right mess. No wonder he let it go to me cheap. Honestly, it's got someone's worked on it before. That is just. I mean, I don't even know. I don't even know. Do I even want to touch that? I don't think I do. I don't think I want to touch it. This is just wow. Okay. What's going on in there? This is just revolting. Is this the worst amp I've ever seen? Yes. God, it stinks. It actually smells like rat or mice urine. I don't know what's been going on here. Well, I do know, quite obvious, but this is not right. Okay. Wow. That is something else. That really is something else. What about over here? Oh, yeah. More of it there. Brilliant. Right. Okay. This is fantastic. Okay. What have I done? What have I done? I don't even want to get this close to it. It it's the worst smell. It really is. This thing is vile. But in a weird way, that's what I wanted. I wanted the worst amp. I wanted the one that needed the most work, the most help, because this thing is getting a full restoration. Not so it looks brand new, I'll say. I still want it to retain some of that vintage character, but not this level of vintage character. Right, this thing is going to... so I'm going to get full restoration done on the cabinet. Get that recovered. New baffle, new grill cloth, new hardware. Try and age it a little bit, just so it looks road worn, but not fully relict. Just appropriate for the age of the amplifier. The chassis, however, do I just burn it? No, I think what we'll do, and what I want to do, is I'm going to completely gut the chassis, take everything out, all the components, all the wire, the transformers off, all the switches, all the plates, completely down to just a bare blank chassis. Then straighten out some of the dings and dents and whatnot, give it a thorough clean beyond anything you've ever seen. It's going to need new board. That board's not coming back. That board is not coming back. So we'll make a new board, and I think we'll build it as factory plus. So let's say I still want to keep it ultra linear. I think that's, you know, a fundamental part of this amp. But we'll do more like a black panel ultra linear amp. I know that didn't exist, but we'll move it back towards that spec. I'll do everything properly. Make some minor tonal changes, because these things apparently can be too clean and too sterile, so we'll try and give it some character. And yeah, try and bring this thing back to life and make it a working amplifier. I think that's my goal, my little Christmas project. So I've received this amplifier end of November. But by the time this video is out on Christmas Day, obviously. There's one tomorrow on Boxing Day, which will be the strip down of this chassis. And then after those two videos, I will just include it in the regular Rift content that comes out on Wednesdays and Sundays. But yeah, here is my absolute barn find of a piece of trash. Worst condition ever. Fender Bassman. Should we fire it up? I think we should. Now, I'm going to say this from the very beginning, because I know the comment section is going to go mad. I would not fire this amplifier up if it was a customer's. Okay? I'm only doing this because it's mine and I'm taking full responsibility for it. What's the worst that's going to happen? It's going to pop a fuse, it's going to damage a transformer. Well, guess what? They're probably knackered anyway, and I'm quite happy to pay for replacements. It's my amplifier, my stupid decision. Okay? So we can't make this amp any worse, can we? So I found in my stash just a spare 6L6. Doesn't matter that it's matched, I'm not going to run it for any period of time. I'm measuring on the high voltage, volts DC. I'm going to fire it up through the light bulb limiter, and we're just going to see what happens. Okay? I'm not expecting to get any sound out of this thing. all for YouTube. And as a secondary thing, obviously, if you have an amplifier like this, or you find one that's in this condition, do not fire it up. Do not plug it in, cut the mains cable off, and take it to a tech. Get the thing assessed. I'm only taking these stupid risks today because it's my amplifier. I am responsible for it. I'm not being responsible now, right? But you've got to have some fun. Okay, so through the light bulb limiter, I've checked the fuse in the plug, and I've checked the fuse in the amplifier. We're good to go. Hooked it up just to a load. So, what do I expect to see? If the amplifier is good, we will get a inrush current as the amplifier turns on, and then that'll immediately drop down. Okay. Then as the high voltage in the amplifier comes up, in fact, it's probably better if I measure on the output valves, isn't it, rather than on the output of the rectifier. That will give us a better indication of what's going on. There we go. Then as the high voltage rises and as the valves start to conduct, so the high voltage will rise, and then as the valves start to conduct, the voltage will start to drop, and our current consumption will start to increase, and our bulb will start to glow brighter again. That's what should happen if it's healthy. This is not a healthy amp, so who knows what's going to happen. But we are going to be protected by the light bulb, so if there is a major short or anything inside, it will just glow at full brightness. It's a 100-watt bulb. Voltage selector, I've set it to 260 volts, just to try and reduce any stress or strain on there even further. But are we ready? Are we ready? Because I'm not. Okay, so we got our initial glow, and now it's dimmed down, pulling 34 watts out the wall. That's our anode voltage, our plate voltage on that 6v6. The voltage will drop as the valves start to conduct, and the bulb will start to glow brighter. Go on, go on. There's no way. There's no way. We have noise. It's passing audio. That's unbelievable. Very crackly, very poor. It can't happen, can it? Should we run a loop through it? Should we run a loop through it? Tell you what, first of all, hold on, hold that thought. Let's put the other microphone down so you can hear. That treble pot is very stiff. Same with this one. It's not going to pass signal. There's no way. Go on. Go on. As it's Christmas. Ah! There's no way. There's no way that amp works. Look at the state of it. There's no way. Doesn't sound too bad. That's unbelievable. Well, Christmas miracles do happen. I don't know what to say about that. It's still getting a restoration. I'm not leaving it like that. But that thing passes audio. Power check? Am I stupid enough to do an output check on it? Am I? Am I really stupid enough? I think I am. I think I am. I think I'm stupid enough to do an output check. It's my amp. And I want a good bass line. 4 ohms. This is where it all goes horribly wrong. Okay. Mid on full, treble on 0, bass on 0, master up full. In restriction mode, it's doing 2.4 volts into 4 ohms. Call it 2.5, 1.6 watts. Oh dear. Right. Do I give it full power? Do I give it full power? Tell you what we do. I'm going to give it full power. And I'm going to monitor the high voltage. I'm just going to briefly do it. I'm going to monitor the wattage too, and if that shoots up, we'll turn this thing off. Pray for me. Stable. Stable. No smoke. No fire. Oh, hold on a minute. It's starting to climb. Oh. Oh, I don't know. Right, so it's kind of stabilised around 123 watts. Been running for about 10 minutes now since the last clip. High voltage, anode voltage has remained at 458. So I am slowly going to measure its output. Master volume on full. Let's advance this tone control. I tell you what though, now it's warm, it stinks. 6.4 volts is absolute maximum volumed on 10, masters on 10, mid on full. 6.4 volts into 4 ohms, just over 10 watts. So we're running well down on power. It smells so bad. The other thing, I know it's Christmas, you're about to have your dinner, but there's a little poo there. Right, anyway, thanks for watching.